Hey y'all, welcome back to the Hack Shack. Today we've got another box from the folks at Hackerboxes. This is Hackerbox 122, and the name is Ouroboros.
It's like a snake eating its own tail.
Let's get this on the bench and see what we have inside here. Here we've got some silver chloride gel electrodes. Here it looks like we've got some more electrodes. This looks like our 808232 ECG sensor module. That's going to be pretty neat to play with. And this looks like our 3-lead ECG cable that plugs into that module. This looks like one of 2 ESP32 WiFi Lowland 32 light dev boards. There should be another one of these in there somewhere. And here it is right here. This is a OV7670 camera module. Got a little lens cap under there, you can see the lens. This bag right here looks to contain a right angle 2x9 female header, 2 right angle tactile push buttons, 2 4.7K resistors, 1 knurled quarter 20 camera lock nut, and some other little 4-pin header. This is a 2.4 inch color 240 by 320 pixel display. This is the exclusive Hackerbox ESP ECG board. This is the exclusive Hackerbox OV cam board. And here we've got a no disassemble flag sticker.
Squash. Dead. Disassemble. Dead. Disassemble. Dead!
Hey, slow down!
No disassemble!
And here we've got a cool Ouroboros glitter sticker. That looks pretty neat. And last but certainly not least, we've got our Hackerbox 122 collectible reference card. We've got our camera module on this side, and we've got the pinouts for our WiFi Lowland 32 Lite on this side. Before we move on, I'd like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, PCBWay. Got a design ready? PCBWay makes it easy to bring it to life. Upload your files, pick your options, place your order. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just tinkering for fun, PCBWay delivers quality boards fast. Just like they always do, the folks from Hackerboxes have included a great set of instructions here available on Instructables. I have a link to that in the description. Even if you don't have the Hackerbox, you might find it pretty handy. Okay, I'm going to do things in a little bit different order than the Instructable goes with. The first thing I'm going to do is hook up our first ESP board here. And you see the battery light briefly turn on. After that, you won't see any LEDs or anything like that. It's just the nature of how this one does by default. But then we're going to swing over into Arduino, and if you don't have that installed, it's not too hard to install. You need to get that installed. Okay, next within Arduino, you want to go to Boards Manager, and you want to search for ESP32 by Expressive Systems. And you'll see I've already got that installed, and I've got 3.07 installed. But it says that we need to use the 2.017 version for this Hackerbox. So I'm going to drop that box down to that 2017 and hit install. And if you didn't have it installed, it wouldn't have the option to update or remove. It would just have the install option. But you'd want to make sure if you're doing this box to get 2017 as the Hackerbox Instructable recommends. All right, so next it tells us to go to Tools, Board, ESP32 and select WiFi Lowland 32 Lite. And that's what we're going to do inside the Arduino IDE. And you also want to make sure your port reflects whatever port popped up when you plug this in. And in my case here, it was COM4. Next, the Instructable advises us to open up File, Example, Basics, Blink. And we're going to get that opened up and push it to the board. And when that's done, we should see our telltale blinking LED as expected. And then if that works, we're going to plug in the other one and push the same code to it. And we should see it blinking as well. So now you're going to see me assemble the camera board. I'm not going to go over every little thing here. I'm just going to kind of let the video speak for itself. If you have any questions about the assembly, just throw them in the comments and I'll try to address them as quickly as I can. After that, the instructable advises us to follow this link and we go over to GitHub. And I'm just going to grab the whole repo by just doing the download zip option here. And that's going to get this BitLooney camera project. And you're going to open that zip up and you want to open up the main sketch. And when you do that, you'll see all of these different tabs will open up, and that'll be all the things that are needed for this to run. Next, the instructable advises us to use the library manager to search for the Adafruit ST7735 and ST7789 library. As you can see here, I already have it installed because I only have the remove option, not install. And if you don't have it installed, you want to make sure that if it asks you to install dependencies that you say yes. Okay, before we can try this out, we need to make a few edits as directed in the instructable. First, we need to go to line 11 and we want to change that SIOD value to 19. Then on lines 34 and 35, you want to put in your Wi-Fi credentials. That's what you need to put in right there. And then we want to switch over to the XCLK CPP file. Right after line 17, you want to take the line and paste it in up under there. There's one that it specifies in the instructable. You're going to paste that in. Just once. You don't need to do it twice like I did there. After that, you should be good to push it to the board. And if you go to Tools, Serial Monitor, and set it at 115.200, you should see some output that'll show you the IP that the board got. And you should be able to open that up in the browser on a machine on the network. But as you can see here, that was not working for me. So this is where I lost a significant amount of time. I did some various testing and things, but ended up figuring out that the Wi-Fi would work by itself and the camera would work by itself. But those two things together as originally packaged, nothing happened. It would not work right. I swapped cameras, I swapped ESP32s, I broke out the hot air station and everything. I tried 2 different computers, 2 different operating systems, same results. I thought maybe my Arduino environment was goofed up here on my bench desktop that I do all this stuff with. And finally, I tried what I probably should have tried first, hotspot mode on my phone, and it worked. First try. When the ESP32 is running both the camera and Wi-Fi at the same time, it gets laggy. It can't always respond to the access point fast enough, and my Surplus Enterprise Cisco APs see an unresponsive client and they will de-authenticate it. Most home routers have a much looser tolerance for that kind of thing, so you probably won't hit this. But if you're running some kind of off-lease or retired enterprise or prosumer gear at home like I am, you might run into that. I suppose I could loosen my settings a bit, but I'd rather keep them the way they are and just keep a cheap test AP from the junk pile on the bench for future troubleshooting like this. Alright, same as before, I'm not going to give a ton of commentary here. Hopefully the video will speak for itself on how I'm putting this thing together. So we'll just let that run, and I might say a few words every once in a while when I think they might be relevant. And if you're wondering how this ESP is staying stuck in there without anything, it's because there's a little bit of residual solder on the legs, because this was the ESP32 that was originally in the camera board. So I didn't have to do anything, it kind of held itself in place for me. I forgot to actually show me clipping some of these leads, but I used these clippers here, and so these pins didn't go crazy. I just used a little bit of blue tack holding over the pins that kind of shot into there so it held them. Use whatever method you want to. Just be careful. Not a bad idea to have some eye protection. Those pins could fly off in random directions if you don't have a way to contain them. When you get to the point of putting the display on, there are some recommended spacing numbers there in the instructable. I didn't actually measure anything, but I just tried to eyeball it. The big thing is I tried to make it equal when I get everything soldered together there, equal spacing wise, and I just wanted to make sure nothing was touching there between the two boards. If you happen to be paying attention, you'll notice that I soldered the 2 outside pins on that longer set of headers, but I didn't catch the middle ones, and I didn't realize that until much later. All right, so next we're going to look at doing a demo on this display, and the instructable advises us to search in the library manager for this Adafruit library here. So I just cut and pasted that. You can see here I already had that installed, but it does say there's an update available. So I'm going to click this update button, and I'm going to make sure to do install all, and that's going to put these updates in for that library. Next, the instructable advises us to go to File Example, Adafruit ILI 9341, and open the graphic test sketch. Next, the instructable tells us we need to grab these lines here, and we're going to replace the lines in that test sketch that are on 22 and 23. So I'm just going to highlight those and paste those right on top of that. It also says to comment out this line and to uncomment out this line. And then it tells us to grab these two lines and stick them inside the setup. After that, I pushed the code to the board and gave it a test. And as you can see here, it did not work. This sketch does have some status output if you set your serial port to 9600. And when I looked at that, I could see that it appeared to be executing. It just seemed to be that the display wasn't working. And that's when I realized what I mentioned earlier. I'd left all these middle pins unsoldered, totally forgot about it. So I fired the iron back up and corrected that. And as you can see here, it's a miracle. It's amazing. It works when you actually solder it up. How about that? Next, the instructable advises us to grab this Wi-Fi signal scanner sketch. So I grabbed that, opened it up, and pushed it to the board. And this is a pretty neat little sketch. When you power it up, it will start scanning and looking at different Wi-Fi that you have that it can see. And it'll draw these little graphs. And you can use the button up there on the top left. When you press that, it kind of forces a refresh. And it'll give you a list and then show you the graphs of signal strength like that. That's pretty cool. All right, now we finally get to do the fun one here. This is the ECG sketch it tells us to grab. And we're going to open that up and push it to the board. Now you can see when it first powers up, it's just got like a simulated heart rate that you can see there. Now, since I love my viewers and it's all in the name of science, I decided to remove my clothing and apply some of these patches as indicated in the instructable illustration. After I got all of those applied, I snapped the leads to them, and then I plugged the other end into the board after pressing the button to stop the demo. And you can see it looked like it's seeing my heart rate. That's pretty cool. Very fun. This was a fun one. It looks like we're going to have ourselves another giveaway. The nice folks at Hackerboxes have graciously offered to send a Hackerbox 122 to a randomly picked commenter. We'll be picking the comment on February 28th, 2026. And remember, Hackerboxes only ships to U.S. addresses for this giveaway. So if your comment's picked, but you don't have a U.S. shipping address that we can use, we'll need to pick someone else. Good luck. At the time of this recording, there are still Hackerbox 122s in stock. If you don't win the giveaway and want to get one, check them out. Or go ahead and subscribe. Hey, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Hope to see you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.